Imagine this, you're a hard-working single dad, racing home earlier than expected after a grueling day at the office, your mind buzzing with thoughts of surprising your little girl with her favorite ice cream. But as you quietly push open the bedroom door, your heart stops. There, tangled in your sheets, is a man you recognize all too well, your boss's best friend. The room spins, betrayal hits like a freight train, and in that split second, your world crumbles. What happens next? Stick around, because this story of heartbreak, redemption, and unbreakable family bonds will leave you breathless. If you're hooked already, smash that like button and subscribe for more emotional tales that remind us why love and trust are worth fighting for. Hit that bell icon so you never miss an upload. Mark Thompson had always been the kind of guy who played by the rules. At 38, he was a devoted father to his 7-year-old daughter, Lily, ever since his wife, Sarah, passed away from cancer 3 years ago. Life hadn't been easy. By day, he slogged through endless spreadsheets as an accountant at a mid-sized firm, reporting to his demanding boss, Mr. Harlan, a man who valued results over relationships. By night, Mark was Lily's everything, chef, storyteller, homework helper, and shoulder to cry on. He hadn't dated much since Sarah's death. The wound was still too raw, and Lily came first. But 6 months ago, that changed when he met Emily at a parent-teacher conference. She was Lily's art teacher, vibrant and kind, with a laugh that lit up the room. They started slow, coffee dates, park outings with Lily, but soon, Emily became a fixture in their home, sleeping over on weekends and filling the house with the warmth Mark had missed so desperately. The day it all fell apart started like any other. Mark woke up to Lily's giggles as she drew pictures at the kitchen table. "Daddy, can we have pancakes?" she asked, her big blue eyes, Sarah's eyes, pleading. He whipped up a batch, kissed her forehead, and dropped her off at school before heading to work. The office was buzzing with a big client meeting, but Mr. Harlan pulled Mark aside. "Thompson, you're doing great work. Take the afternoon off, family first, right?" It was unusual for Harlan, who was usually all business, but Mark didn't question it. He grabbed his things, stopped for ice cream, and headed home early, imagining Emily's surprise. She had the day off too, and they'd planned a quiet lunch together. As he pulled into the driveway, Mark noticed a sleek black sedan parked outside, one he didn't recognize. His stomach twisted slightly, but he brushed it off. Maybe a neighbor's visitor. He entered quietly, not wanting to wake Emily if she was napping. The house was silent, save for the faint hum of the fridge. He set the ice cream down and tiptoed upstairs. The bedroom door was ajar. Pushing it open, the sight hit him like a punch to the gut. Emily was in bed, her hair disheveled, and beside her, half-dressed and looking equally shocked, was Victor Reyes, Mr. Harlan's best friend and a high-powered lawyer who often dropped by the office for golf outings with the boss. Victor's tie was flung across the floor, and the air reeked of guilt. "Mark? Oh God, you're home early," Emily stammered, pulling the sheets up. Victor bolted upright, his face paling. "This isn't what it looks like, man. I swear." Mark's vision blurred with rage and hurt. "Get out," he growled, his voice barely above a whisper to avoid scaring Lily later. Victor scrambled for his clothes, muttering apologies, while Emily sobbed, "Please, let me explain." But Mark couldn't hear it. He stormed downstairs, slamming doors, his mind racing. How long had this been going on? Victor, of all people, the guy who'd shaken his hand at company parties, who'd even sent flowers after Sarah's funeral. And Emily, who knew how fragile his heart was after losing Sarah. Betrayal burned through him like acid. He grabbed his keys and left, driving aimlessly until it was time to pick up Lily from school. That night, after tucking Lily in with a forced smile and a bedtime story, Mark confronted Emily in the living room. She showed up uninvited, eyes red from crying. "Mark, Victor, and it was a mistake. One time. I was lonely, and you work so much. He came over to drop off some papers from Harlan, something about a promotion for you, and one thing led to another. I'm so sorry. Mark's fists clenched. Lonely? He was the one burying himself in work to provide for Lily, to keep the roof over their heads. You knew what I've been through, he said, his voice cracking. Sarah fought so hard, and now this? With my boss's best friend? Do you know what this could do to my job? The fallout was swift and brutal. Word spread like wildfire at the office. Victor, in a panic, confessed to Harlan, who called Mark in for a chat. Harlan's office felt like a courtroom. Thompson, this is messy. Victor's my friend, but you're a good employee. Let's keep this quiet. I'll fast-track that promotion if you let it go. Mark stared in disbelief. A bribe? For his silence? He walked out, seething, but the damage was done. Whispers followed him in the hallways, colleagues avoiding his gaze. At home, Lily sensed the tension. Where's Miss Emily, Daddy? Did I do something wrong? Her innocent question shattered him. He hugged her tight, fighting tears. No, sweetie. Grown-ups make mistakes sometimes. Days turned into weeks of isolation. Mark threw himself into fatherhood, taking Lily to therapy sessions they'd started after Sarah's death, now more needed than ever. He avoided Emily's calls, blocked Victor's number. But the pain festered. One night, unable to sleep, Mark scrolled through old photos of Sarah, her smile, her strength during chemo. What would you do? He whispered to the empty room. The next morning, a knock at the door surprised him. It was Harlan, looking uncharacteristically humble. Mark, I owe you an apology. Victor's out of line, and I shouldn't have tried to sweep it under the rug. Family matters more than friendships or business. Take some time off, paid. And that promotion? It's yours, no strings. But the real turning point came from an unexpected source. Emily showed up at his door one evening, not with excuses, but with a letter. Read this when you're ready, she said, tears streaming. I messed up, but I love you and Lily. I'll wait. The letter detailed her own struggles, growing up in a broken home, fearing abandonment, making impulsive choices out of insecurity. It didn't excuse her, but it humanized her. Mark realized he wasn't the only one hurting. For Lily's sake, and his own, he agreed to talk. They started couples counseling, unpacking the grief he'd buried since Sarah's death, the pressure he put on himself as a single dad. It was hard. Nights of arguments, days of doubt, but slowly, trust rebuilt. Victor, meanwhile, faced his own reckoning. Harlan distanced himself, and Victor sought therapy, admitting his recklessness stemmed from his own failing marriage. He reached out to Mark months later, not for forgiveness, but to make amends. I was wrong. If there's anything I can do. Mark, surprisingly, accepted a coffee meetup. You hurt me, but holding on to anger hurts my daughter more. Let's move on. As the seasons changed, Mark's life transformed. The promotion gave him flexibility, more time with Lily, who blossomed in art class without the shadow of drama. Emily earned her way back, proving her commitment through actions, family dinners, school events, even volunteering at Sarah's Memorial Foundation. One crisp autumn day, Mark proposed to Emily in the park where they'd had their first date, Lily cheering as she held the ring box. We're a family now, Lily beamed. Looking back, Mark realized the shock of that fateful afternoon wasn't just betrayal, it was a wake-up call. Life's too short for grudges, forgiveness isn't weakness, it's strength. It taught him to communicate openly, to cherish every moment, and to build bridges even when they seem burned. If this story touched your heart, remember, we've all faced betrayals, but rising above them makes us unbreakable. Like and subscribe for more inspiring stories that prove love always finds a way. Your support means the world. What's your take on forgiveness? Drop it in the comments below.